said it was easier, I should have did my other program that I am. So nevertheless, my name is Kalishia Mitchell. And first I would like to start off by saying it is an absolute honor and pleasure to be invited to speak on such an exclusive platform, to be in the presence of greatness. I am a proud mother. I will be 45 in July. I'm very proud. I feel like as the years go by, I want to acknowledge my wisdom. So I don't have no problem telling anyone, you know, my age and my journey. I am a DSP, direct support professional. I provide in-home support services for individuals with intellectual and developmental delays. I am the owner of and creator of Loving Our Oils LLC. It's a hair and body oil that I created, and definitely been making that for about the last 5 years. But my organization was my main focus. I take it with me everywhere I go. So the journey that I took to get here, definitely took me a moment to get here. My journey is long. I definitely, some of the stories from the speakers, I can definitely say I used a lot of those coping mechanisms, trying to understand who I was, to be able to understand a lot about, I guess you could say, what my purpose was, what that assignment was for me. So again, I just thank God for allowing me to be here. I did not realize that I could be at this point. So I definitely worked very hard to get to this level. So balancing your personal life and your professional life, it definitely takes a lot. It's not something that is easy. So before we start, I definitely would like to do a quick exercise that I've done for years with my children, my clients. I have a three-year-old little grandniece, I call her, and I teach this to her because she is a handful. So if I could just have everyone close your eyes. Everyone just please close your eyes. I just would like everyone to take in this space, take in this moment in time, because this is a moment in time for us compared to that long timeline of life and where we sit at in that level, in that time. So just take a moment, take a space, breathe. I want you to think of your favorite flower. If you like flowers, or maybe it could be candy or anything that just gives you a, when you smell it, it gives you this, gives you some level of release. I just want you to take a moment, think of your favorite flower. I want you to take a deep breath. Smell those flowers, deep breath. Then I want you to think of blowing out those candles on your birthday cake. I don't want you to spit on the cake. I just want you to blow. I want you to do this 3 times. Smell the flowers. Blow out the candles. Smell the flowers. Blow out the candles. Smell the flowers. Blow out the candles. So you can open up your eyes. How did that make you feel? Relax. This is an exercise that I do with my son because he is autistic. He will be 28 years old this month. I went through the battles of dealing with autism. He was diagnosed with bipolar as well. So when we were going through those tough times, I call it our episodes, we had to find ways to bring him down. Touch was good for him. I would touch his arms, I would get pressure points just to be able to get him, because I know that allows for you just that oxygen to get into your brain. Just to give you a moment, just to think. So that's just something that I like to do to break the ice, not only for participants, but for myself as well. So The question is how to balance between professional and personal life. That one question comes with a host of various answers from numerous sources from the internet, such as self-help lists to create, books, seminars, a plethora of resources to navigate in order to find the right answer. Balancing life as a parent and a professional is quite important for the well-being of yourself and your family. When you have a child or adult with autism, balancing professional and personal life advances to a new level of understanding and patience that can't be found in too many books. Today's society is moving at an accelerated rate. Balancing being a parent and a successful professional takes focused planning, setting boundaries, prioritizing self-care, building a support network, taking advantage of technology, and last but certainly not least, prayer. So I want to take you guys on a little journey. I have a long journey, but I don't have that long. And of course, I'm taking in all the information that Urani had said, so I'm trying to take notes along the way. But I want to take you on this journey. The aim for my presentation will be to take participants on a journey balancing professional and personal life while raising a child to an adult with autism. There is no right answer to the proper steps when it comes to raising your family while at the same time achieving your goals. We will explore some of these steps to inspire and encourage parents, professionals, caregivers, and community members better ways to balance this thing called life. So again, I felt like when I was looking online and researching, there are so many books and you can type in self-improvement, you can type in time management, and there are lists of inspirational YouTube videos, vlogs. There is countless information out there. So if you are on the course for just development on self, there's plenty of research and materials out there to just really help you along the way. So a little bit about me. Things were a little different for me. I did not have a plan for life. I did not have it down packed. I had my son at 16 years old. And when I had my son at 16 years old, again, I was a kid. So I'm not sure too many 16-year-olds that literally had their life planned and had everything on track and what their goals were and what they were going to go to college, everything. You might have had ideas, but 16 years old was that junior in high school. So I definitely wasn't ready for that. When my son was diagnosed with autism at the age of 3, I was not ready for that at all. He was diagnosed during a different time. This was in I recognized some of the characteristics, some of the things that he started going through early. So about 97, he was born in 95, by 97, 98, I just saw something different. Things where he started talking, then all of a sudden he stopped talking. So I knew something wasn't quite right, but there was not anyone else that could help me and tell me what that was. And, we went to professionals, and I remember the doctor we took him to, she did her thesis on autism. And she automatically looked at my son and said that he was autistic. So again, at that time, there was not a lot of information. We could not go online to the internet. I remember there was always one particular article that you could go to that had any information on autism. So it was definitely a trying time in my life. I lost my mom in 1999. When you speak about that journey and getting yourself to this point, seeing yourself, 1998, my son was diagnosed with autism, and I was also sitting in a mental institution at 20 years old. I was diagnosed with bipolar, and at that point, I didn't even know what to do with my mind. And if anybody really understands what the battle of the mind is, it is real. And you will battle yourself until you lose yourself. And at that point, that's where I was, at 16, 17, I think around the time I was about 18, 19, just trying to focus on myself, diagnosed with bipolar at 20 years old. But I just remember the doctors telling my mom, and at that time, my adopted mother, she passed away in 99. So it was literally, I went through so much in such a short amount of time. But he said, no, this young lady is very smart. very intelligent. This is the pinnacle of either she's going to go left or she's going to go right. She's either going to understand her mind and what she has the ability to do, or she's not going to be able to control those thoughts and everything that she went through. So I just had this mechanism inside of me, even as a young child. I dealt with mental issues early, that there was something inside of me that kept pushing me to tomorrow. Today was never okay. I just always looked at tomorrow. I did a lot of praying and just knowing that, one day I wouldn't be in this pain, this mental pain that I continue to go through constantly. So when I was raising my son, it was hard because I'm dealing with bipolar. He's screaming and hollering to the top of his lungs. I'm literally like, I can't even deal with you screaming. You have to stop. How do I relate with him? How do I get on the same level with him? It took some work. A lot of self-improvement, time management, stress management, and patience. So again, it wasn't easy. I didn't have this written down, but I just knew that in order to get to a point to be able to raise my son, I had to improve myself. So again, I've dealt with the depression, the anxiety, dealing with the insecurities during a good part of my life. So the question is, how am I going to raise this family while staying sane at the same time? So self-improvement. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, there we go. I did this slideshow myself. You guys, I'm really proud of myself. But self-improvement, when you look at all the things that make up self-improvement, I don't know why it's not going. Okay, there we go.
Did you share something?
It's not moving quick enough, might be the connection. But self-improvement is motivation, practice, focusing, being able to know those things, working on yourself daily. So as a woman, that is a part of our daily process. Our thought process is working on ourselves. This previous speaker, Urani, is really working on yourself, telling yourself the things that you need just to operate every day without battling yourself. So some of those techniques, when it came to dealing with my son's autism, it was how do you improve something that you really don't understand. And the definition of self-improvement is the improvement of one's knowledge, status, or character by one's own effort. But again, how do you work on something and how do you improve something that you don't understand? And that's where I sat for a lot of my life. How do I improve and help my son with his autism and at the same time improve myself? Again, it was goals that I set. I did set goals. I did the best I could to keep positive thoughts. When you're dealing with bipolar depression, you have the ability, again, to bury yourself into this hole and bury yourself into this hole that you cannot come out of. Those pessimistic and those optimistic thoughts. I thought both of them. I was my own critic, but at the same time, I didn't care about anything else and how anyone felt about me or, my characteristics, my reactions. So again, it was just understanding, trying to keep those positive thoughts, keep staying on focus, educating yourself. I speak with a lot of my parents. The organization I created, we offer support. I talk to my moms. Since 2015, I have created a lot of relationships. So I try to get the parents to understand educating yourself on what your child is going through, educating yourself about autism as much as you possibly can, to be able to talk to the professionals, to be able to advocate for your child. I was my son's biggest advocate. I realized that he didn't have the ability to speak. He didn't have his emotions, his social skills. He could not operate without me. So I realized I had to be everything that he didn't have is everything that God gave me. And so I had to just figure out how to balance that. I have my 3 girls. So I teach my girls constantly as being a woman, you are constantly recreating yourself. You are constantly going to the drawing board, back to the drawing board. Let's start over again. Let's start over and go back to the things that we did wrong to see what we can do to make it right. So again, it was just a point of being able to understand what that assignment was. It was bigger than just me. I had a goal and I had this young man that I had to fight for. Understanding your child and setting those goals, small goals. What are we going to do? What did you say? Each day to get close. What did you say? What are we going to do each day to get closer to that goal? And that's what I worked on. What am I going to do each day to get closer to? For us, it was simple. Can he tie his shoes? How long will it take? He started at 10 years old. That's how long it took before he actually was able to tie his shoes. So it was just literally, not the goals just for him, but what am I going to set for myself? You know, I was an at-home mom for many years. So I had to deal with what society said. You know, that's not easy. That's a whole nother subject matter. What society will tell you about yourself and what you have to believe within yourself. Being grateful for the small achievements for me. I did not have a job that I worked on for 15 years. I did not have any accolades, you know, from school. I dropped out of high school to have my son. So of course I did go back. I had goals. I was very smart. I went back, I got my GED. I went to school in 2010. I walked that stage with my degree from St. Leo. I was 8.5 months pregnant with my third child, and I meant that I was going to do that. That was my goal. So being grateful for the small achievements for me, when my daughter got honor roll in school, and when my son achieved his IEP goals for that year, that was my achievements. That was the biggest raise I could have received. There was no money amount for that. And so that's how I had to look at things to keep myself out of that negative bubble of not having the degrees, not having all those things. No, these are my accomplishments. Taking a moment to focus on myself and really understanding what you're doing now is what you're supposed to be doing and accepting it. That was a big part of understanding my mental, is accepting where I was right at that moment. It's a reason and it's a purpose for it. I wasn't where I wanted to be. 4 children, not really what my goal was going to be for life, but I knew there was a reason, there was a purpose behind it. So like my time management, when you're working on time management, when I tell some of my parents, do what needs to be done first. What is the most important thing that needs to get done today? Please, and again, I moved from sun up to sundown. You know, like I said, I have 6 total, including myself and my dog, my fur baby. Cannot forget the fur babies that I have to take care of, because she's a whole presence herself. I move from sun up to sundown. I barely sit down. So what do? I write lists. I have lists that I write. Of course, I have a calendar. Of course, I use my phone. But you can write all these things. You can put all this stuff down. It's really you that has to acclimate to what has to get done and creating a schedule that works for you. So again, it's not what works for this person and what works for that person. It's what works for me. So again, now learning how to delegate. I've just gotten to the point of delegating positions. My husband, my daughter, delegating because I can't do everything on my own. So that's just some of the time management. Again, if you're lucky, some people are great managing time and managing their schedule. You know, when you have all of these factors pulling at you, it's a little bit harder to make sure you can execute everything that's on your list for today. So again, what's the most important? What needs to get done today? And dealing with a child with a disability, there's always numerous appointments. There's always things that you have to make sure you manage every day. My stress management. Managing your stress is the roller coaster ride of life. Not sure how I did it. I definitely a lot of prayer, definitely. Setting my alarm in the morning, getting up early, keeping that same routine every day. and trying to stick to that. You know, they say get up early, those 5 o'clockers trying to get up early in the morning. That works for some people. Maybe 6 o'clock is your hour, maybe 7 o'clock is your hour. But just setting that time, tracking your mood daily if you deal with emotional issues, if you deal with mental incapabilities, you know, find a way to, okay, right now I need to just stop and get my thoughts together before I move into this next task. Let me breathe. Because you don't want to take whatever your mood is, you don't want to take it into either that next phase of your life or just into when you're interacting with others. Meditation, that works wonders for me. Meditation, just being able to have a moment to just breathe. So important, breathing, so important. Being able to know your triggers. Same with my son. I have to know his triggers. I have to know the things that get him, and we know it. I can see it in his eyes when he goes to that point, when it's too much for him, you know? So knowing your triggers, taking that moment just to breathe. Again, I just always had a spiritual presence. That was my guide, you know, just getting through, knowing that your strength is coming from somewhere else. You're gonna get through this, Kalishia. Now is not forever. That's what I tell a lot of my clients. Please know now is not forever. Patience. Raising a child with autism is not easy. Being a parent in general is definitely one of the hardest jobs that you can sign up for. When it comes to patience, what can you endure? I can honestly admit it took me years to realize how patient I really was. I did not realize the patience that I entailed to be able to raise my son and 3 girls, 3 girls, and constantly, and it was like, ooh, when am I gonna lose it? At any moment now, but you know, just continuing to know that this is a job. I was chosen for this assignment, you know, and I have to execute what my purpose is. So again, just patience is a person's ability to wait something out or endure something tedious without getting riled up. Man, just reading the definition, you know what patience is, but when you really read the definition on what it really means, how many times did you keep yourself from getting riled up? How many times? So again, we're more patient than we realize on an everyday basis, and I had to give myself credit for that. I had to stop calling myself crazy. And I had to stop saying that I can't handle this, and I can't do this, and I can't. When I realized all that I have on my plate, obviously I was chosen to be able to take all these things in. Self-care is very important. Without self-care, as women, even men, you know, my husband deals with his own emotional. Men need their self-care too. You know, men need a moment. There's a lot of weight on men, and what they're supposed to do as men. You're not supposed to have any emotions, and you're not supposed to react, and you're not supposed to feel. But men need their self-care moments too. You know, we all need that moment to just step away. This trip for me and my daughter, 2 days without me having to be from sun up to sundown. So for me, this felt like this was like self-care. Oh, we get to go out of town. I get to get cute, you know. Me and my baby gonna go get something to eat. You know, that's self-care. That's just taking that moment. Again, what she said, I had to force myself because I wasn't gonna come. It's like, no, I don't have time. But it's like, no, I worked myself hard enough to get here. I'm coming. Finding time for yourself is what keeps us balanced. Finding a support team of parents that understand the journey. That's some of the reasons why I created the organization. A Brighter Side of ASD. This is my son. This is my light. My daughter is back there with me. It was to highlight the brighter side of living with autism, highlighting the things that they have the ability to do, not focusing on the things that they can't do. So I create platforms where I live. I create art show. I've done fashion shows. I offer support. We have a support group. I work with the city. So again, finding that support, which I didn't have when I was raising him, those early years. So these are just a couple little tidbits. I am fueled by happy thoughts and coffee. That's my morning. Starting off the morning with happy thoughts really make a difference. Addressing all of the burdens on your heart releasing it, or you will carry it with you at every stage of your life. And that's what I had to do. I had to release so much to be able to get to another level. Whether it's childhood traumas, facing your fears, even admitted to being wrong can really release a lot of tension and stress when you hold on to certain grudges that really don't, it's not positive for your everyday. Not holding grudges is definitely a big thing. Doing things at your own pace. Life is not a race. Social media and what everyone put on this facade to make everyone think that they're living this great life and everything they do is so rewarding, and every time I touch something it turns to gold, and my aunt is better than yours and my sister is better than you. Get tired, and those things will break you down, because then you feel like you have something to keep up with. What's happening to me? So my mom and my dad always told me my maiden name is Morgan, and my daddy told me, you are a Morgan, don't you try to keep up with the Joneses. So just staying in your own lane, doing what's best for you. Forget what everyone else is doing. Moving towards your goals, knowing that there is a brighter side to that dark road. Moving forward, good things. I tell my girls and the young ladies that I mentor, if you give your best, then you're going to receive the best. What you give is what you're going to get from it. If you're only giving half, that's all you're going to get. So just keep moving forward, believe in yourself, and know that God is in control. So these are my reasons. These are my results. This is my purpose. This is the first picture is the gala I did, my first Awesomely Autistic Gala, and that was rewarding. I do an Awesomely Autistic art show every year, and I've done since 2015. All of the artists are on the spectrum. Oh, wow. Amazing art we've done since 2015. So I wanted to honor my babies. I call them all my babies. And we had an amazing gala. So when I look at what I have the ability to do, the patience and how long it took to get here, I am beyond honored and beyond blessed. That's my family. That's my family. That's my reasons. Why I fight. There go my little Dootsy in there that you're holding her. Why I fight every day to keep myself sane. That's my son. He is my brighter side. He just started working at Chipotle. Oh, wow. We finally got him a job. The years and years of what it took. I taught him how to be a cook. He was an excellent cook and knows where his skills were. Forget the fact that he can't remember his phone number, his address. That doesn't matter. He has the ability to do something. It took us years. It was a lot of no's until I advocated and I told him, no, you are going to put him where he's good at. We're going to find him. And it took years. And my baby now, he started working the beginning of March. He's on the route to being Employee of the Month. He works Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. He is my light. We have worked hard. I really would like for you guys to go to my website and just see a little bit of our story. But he is my reason. He is my success, my children, my family, my husband, and then my community. Those are my babies. Those are my artists, my parents. That was our gala in October. It took a long time to put that gala together. I had people come from Baltimore. It was an amazing event. Sensory Sunday, that was our April Sensory Sunday at Chuck E. Cheese. I do a Sensory Sunday every first Sunday of the month. I fought for that in 2017 for my organization, and I got it, and it's been running since then. So we have Sensory Sunday every first Sunday of the month at Chuck E. Cheese from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. for our community. So they have their moment. So again, this is my story. It's self-improvement, what I did to maintain the stress, how I managed my time, and these are my results. I thank you so much, and I really hope you all enjoy this presentation. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much, Kalishia, for this inspirational talk. And
you.